vengeance.
The crowd on the side of Team Liquid right now, but man, revenge is hopefully to be served if you're a Koi fan, because those were tight series. Sure, it was a 2-0 for Team Liquid, but Koi were on their heels the entire time. And heading into this pistol round, we know both these teams like that slower approach on the attack.
Yeah, but it seems like Koi are going to switching up the pace just a little bit. That full line was perfect. And Kiko gets first blood of this map, as it's definitely destined to do so. Yampi doubles it up, and Kiko keeps on giving. They collapse upon Koi, and the first round goes to Team Liquid.
Very solid defense there, just not even allowing Koi to break through market, winning out on all of those fights now. Looking over towards what Team Liquid want to work with here. I think what is interesting is we are having like a true head-to-head in a mirror matchup, right? So you're looking towards the fact that this first map is really a determinant of which team is better.
And this is a map that they haven't shown so far, both of these teams throughout this tournament. So it's completely off the marks. Both of these teams trying to play their game, trying to read the opposing team's game as well at that. On the go, it's Mystic again. Outlook, such an influential weapon, and it's influential on the bottom side as well. Kiko doubles up, so all 3 kills of this round have come from Outlaws.
Picking the spike back up here, but
yeah. What can you
not
do?
much you're gonna do, right?
No, not at all. No, I don't know. Team Liquid, look, they won the previous series in a very close fashion, right? It was a 2-0, but those maps were fairly close. We're talking about some, 13-7s. Was it 13-7s? No, it was 13-10, 13-11. And for that reason, you've got to be a little bit more fearful of this one. Sunset being a new map they'll be playing in is a way Koi can, come on top of this without the side of Team Liquid being able to prepare. While Koi, on the other hand, they've been able to win a match themselves up against BBL. That was a little bit more comfortable for them, although many would have said very slow-paced. But it's very much a battle of the bands. A lot of former teammates in this one. There's definitely some feelings of rivalry, perhaps, or growing rivalry. But it's an Andalucia flawless, and not only was it a flawless in players alive, but not a single hint of damage was taken throughout that.
No, so that means a very strong bonus round coming in here for Team Liquid. And look over towards the side of Koi, that's 3 light shields that you're looking towards, and they've got 2 outlaws on the side of Team Liquid to hold down some of these choke points.
Nice, flawless.
Nonetheless, man, I mean, Kiko already with the...
It's an Andalucia flawless, Emil. Come on.
I don't think he got the note. We're going to have to send him an email later.
Yeah, we've got to send him an email. He's got to fix that up. But it's a strong buy round here from Team Liquid. I'm going to quit a bonus round, excuse me. A rifle, Outlaws can do damage, but it's full shields for Koi. So it has to be a 2-shot.
See what happens. Full mid control here for the Koi side.
Oh.
Okay, that's 1 outlaw out.
It is indeed. And the stun onto Nats here could be quite influential. Nats hasn't shown his ground, but it's Shadow to pick it up. He's been so good throughout this tournament so far, and he's leading from the front as well. Shot calling on some occasions. And Grabinho picking up another is setting up Koi for success, as they've gotten themselves every single kill so far and full B-side control.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point there on the side of Koi. Sure, late in the season last year, Starkso was the one filling the IGL shoes, and we did think that he was continuing on in that role heading in towards kickoff, but there was that silent switch with Shadow just changing his little bio there on socials.
About it, right?
Yeah, but he's actually in that hot seat now. So we were talking about it in the green room. 3 IGLs coming off of Apex.
Right, Enzo maintaining that IGL position, Shadow as well, calling for the team, and look at Magnum over in Carmine Court, which we saw earlier, get a win and continue to play. And it seems that Apex likes to produce a lot of IGLs here. So the interesting is that Shadow is in the mind of Enzo here, right? He's played with these guys. They know him well and truly quite thoroughly at this point. I know it's a different roster, right? You've got the craziness of Nat. You're moving in with a different coach, Emil. There's definitely some things to learn and some things adjusted and changed. But it could be a useful tool to be calling against a team you know very, very well.
I think that tells you a lot as to how many strong voices there were within that Apex roster from last year down in the Valorant Challenger series. But now looking over towards Again, those mind games here. How well Shadow and Enzo know each other and going head-to-head for the second time over kickoff.
And the same thing follows with the fact that he's been calling, but also producing kills. On the other hand, Enzo and Mystic, some of the other players coming from Apex,
Bit more quiet.
a bit more quiet, haven't they? But for Koi now, moving into this mid side of the map, not really taking any extremity control, grouping their players together. But Team Liquid not really going for information themselves either.
No, but this mid control has been key here for Koi. They've opted for it quite often, but you've also got that operator, Kiko, watching the angle over towards tiles.
Oh.
Gun here.
That's a strong pick. Koi on top.
So much mid control now denied here for the side of Team Liquid.
And Team Liquid forced to polarize the defenses. 2 on each side and mid cut in 2.
I mean, they have the deep
Caution
camera
here.
over towards B main. They have those trips watching their backs as well. But it's the B split that Koi are inching towards.
If Camo can produce some madness here, would be optimal. Stun there and waiting. Shadow thinks better of it, but it's a matter of timing. 40 seconds, and Koi, they've been known to run the clock dry, but this time they can't afford it to happen. There is a tripwire that Stark so barely is able to avoid, but with the Prowler picking it through, he's able to subside it for now. It will be reproduced. I'm not quite sure if it did get shot down, but still, it's Shadow with the pick, and Koi with the opener will look to head towards this ace side.
I mean, that trip was taken out. That's enough pressure to put over towards B. Now the shift on over. And Mystic alone here. An island on A, playing in the smoke. No time, though.
Yeah, Paranoia expended. 10 seconds, they've got to
seconds
move
left.
in. All Team Liquid have to do is deny the spike plant from taking place. Gravino's position has been started. Paranoia in, and he's denied it!
down
Mystic
A.
has done it! All that was required, bullet to the face, and Team Liquid win the round.
Perfect timing there coming out from Mystic. 3-1. Sure, it wasn't stunning, but it was exactly what they
You
needed.
don't need much more than that, right?
No crazy plays necessary. It was the perfect mark there. And all that matters.
Valorant at the end of the
No,
day.
exactly. I mean, Mystic, he was just like looking to hit that shot. That's all that it came down to, especially when Koi are running down the clock so much. Barbara Cam,
Baba
a
Cam is the
classic.
best cam.
entertainment value.
Entertainment
Stonks
value to
are
the
going
fullest.
up.
But for this one, he's not too happy, is he?
No.
The team left it a little bit too long, and they had to pay for it. Still have money to invest in this, right? They've still been able to put their hands in their pockets and find some rifles. But it's heavily contended, this Garage era. 2 players early on for Team Liquid, but they vacated, and the Koi will have to do the same thing.
A deep camera, though. So Koi do have quite a bit of information here towards B main at the very least. Nambi looking to play forward.
But Shadow doubles up out of nowhere? Excuse me?
Kiko sought out towards A main as well, making it a little bit more daunting for Koi to try and clear back out into a lobby. He reclaims the space.
Right there.
Doesn't decide to fully fall off. Koi are looking to regroup before extending the util on the A site. And Kiko needs to find one here. Kiko also has a showstopper.
Yeah. Kiko is definitely the person that has to do a lot. Stun coming through, but the showstopper coming in a little bit too late, but they jump above it! Camo is dead, but Kiko, not being able to see a thing,
30
has to
seconds
drop
left.
short after. 2 versus 4 though, Team Liquid. If Enzo is able to produce some madness, there's potential here, especially with a flank in the making from Mystic, but no. This has put Mystic into the clutch. He does TP across the tripwire, and it hasn't quite been heard, but they do know he's an Omen, and the possibility of a TP still exists in their mind.
I mean, with Stark's positioning, they know.
And they're looking in his direction. Mystic! Oh, potential for a second there. It got scary, but Koi have got it locked and covered. That's a second on the board for them.
Okay, slowly racking these rounds up now. Again, the caveat is that Koi, they do well in running down that clock, finding those late openings into those site plants. But again, we saw where the risk is in that as well 2 rounds ago. Now they have to continue forward with some of this momentum. They force Team Liquid onto an eco round.
Yeah, there's something to know on Shadow here. Like in this previous roster in Apex, he used to be sort of the jester, right? He used to be the guy that would be a little bit cheeky, make some jokes, keep the atmosphere light. But from what I'm seeing from him right now, it's fully serious. It's fully leader mode. And I like that type of Shadow. Don't get me wrong. I like the funny business, but at the same time, I do enjoy him on this leader position as well.
I do see the leader coming through, but I think that what you're talking about in that emotional lead, the ability to keep things light and fresh is something that we do constantly see from him as well. Sure, the player cams do show him a little bit serious, but most of the time he's got a little smirk on his face.
You definitely got to see a variation of emotions. And it's Koi that move into the site, and that is the opening frag for them. Starks are looking to keep things clean. It's also the idea of Starks and Shados wanting to live their glory days again, and with Koi, they want to do the same. But for now, it's an equalization that they're looking for. 3-3. And yeah, Kiko, Enzo, been teammates for a while. Can they do it? Can they do anything, any damage? But so far, every single time we see a situation like this, it's been a save. Don't give them orbs, don't give them a thing. And this time, it's no different. Well, maybe it is, because Starks is going right after them, and he had a bullet with Kiko's name, and he's got a bullet with Enzo's name as well.
Well, another Andalusia flawless coming in here for Koi this time around. Now we've got, okay, weapons are up for Team Liquid. Last round was when they were looking to save up a little bit more. Able to buy up in full, sacrificing for a couple of those light shields, but my eyes are on Koi here. You've got a Nightfall, you've got a Rolling Thunder to work with. They have been starting a little bit slower, but this is Mayor, they might just pick it up.
Can we have a compilation of Barber just on those on that coaching cam? I think it'll be super entertaining to see what they've actually chat about. But still, it's very aggressive here from Camo, and he comes out on top with a kill. Kiko is in one position, he can't really get out, but he's got Yampy for reinforcement, so that will keep him alive for a little bit longer. Koi, press the brakes. Don't fully engage anymore. They've got the numbers, they've got to rethink this.
Hey, initial fast look, it draws a lot of attention over now. Team Liquid fully rotated over towards A, but look at that spike.
Oh, Camo! Aggresses off the back of it again, but only damage to Yampy, not quite the finishing blow. And they drop back to save their lives as they look to pivot towards the speed side.
But look how late it is now. Koi, they made so much attention drawn over towards A. Sure, the setup is still here on the side of Nats, but nobody's home.
Off your feet! Yeah. No one is home. Rolling Thunder has to be used. They had no information who was at the back of the site, so it will be taken up. An important ultimate I'm sure they'd love to have on the post-spot, but still, better safe than sorry.
Spike planted. Multiple on the flank this time around.
There's a tripwire there to cover the ground. There's two players looking at them, and a Shadow to take the fight! Spray down, double pick up. And Koi miles ahead in this round, so Team Liquid forced to back out.
Gotta save that operator into the next. A costly round there for Team Liquid as we equalize on the side of Koi and take it even further to find the lead once again. It will be, all things assumed, an Andalusia flawless that will be coming in here for the side of Koi on top of that. Man, I feel like what I'm a little bit nervous about.
Yes.
The fact that the last time these two teams faced off, Atlas. Sure. It was close. Map 1 on Icebox, though. Kiko had a life game.
Oh, he did. And it's one of those criticizing... that's what Lothar was criticizing on Desk as well, right? And I think a lot of people can criticize it as well. Is that, you know, reliable?
Yeah.
Is that something that can be replicated? And when you're on Team Liquid, a lot of these situations where they've come out on top, where they've won a lot of rounds, is due to individual success.
And then you look at game 2. Same situation, but it's Nats that time. Last time they went head-to-head, right? Nats right now, 0-4, haven't seen the value out of that. I know that the calling here for the Team Liquid side hasn't really given Nats the opportunity to really shine either. He's been playing very passive, also getting caught out in some situations. A little bit difficult to consistently, I think, be playing that kind of retake game here for Team Liquid. And what I really liked from them were the first couple of rounds that we saw on the pistol, on the anti-eco, playing a little bit more forward, going for those early engagements and taking the fight to them.
And that might be what is being discussed right now. It could be Team Liquid want to be changing their approach in this one because, let's be fair, the past two Byrons that Koi have been working like a charm. It didn't seem like there were any cracks in the road for them. They've been able to play Team Liquid by the book, be able to lure them in areas of the map and be able to manipulate them in a manner in which they could get these rounds. So heading into an eco round with a hero operator and a hero phantom, things are looking to get a bit dicey here.
Okay.
How much hope are we putting on Kiko's hands right now?
I mean, it's the mid look once again here for Kiko, right? Every time he's had the op, it's been this aggressive angle. But no one's been there to bail him out either. And there's two angles that you have to keep an eye on here. He has to back up. I like the more passive play.
It's a matter of being able to trade it. It could have been a double, but he gets out with 30 points of health. Team Liquid might have a chance if they're able to replicate this once more. But again, it's Vandals versus Sheriff, and Kiko doesn't miss. Back on the server again. And he's loving it. Although look at this push from Grabinho. He's going all the way in while the Prowler keeps Kiko busy into market. Yampy aggressing with a short with the Sheriff, but it's Enzo to come up on top instead. So Team Liquid, they're on the highway to victory. Unless Shados is doing anything about it, but he won't. He won't. And Starkso on the other end all by himself is wondering what happened to this round. Mystic has got his number as he found a 90-degree angle to take on. So Team Liquid keep the score close and in equilibrium.
Great timeout to be called there from Team Liquid to find success right off the back of it. The value that we were looking for to come out from the operator finally arriving here for Kiko with that mid control, but now we've got to see him be a little bit more dynamic because Koi, they are going to focus on denying him that angle towards market. They're not going to let him get away for it for free, so now we see the shift over towards B, still playing forward in front of these trips and whatnot, but by a little bit more time, then you can move around the map even more so.
Look, Cam was actually aggressive really far forwards into mid. And the lot is thrown at Nats here to try and get him out of this position, trying to break the utility. Well, the trip is still alive, and in the meantime, Cameron wants to go even further, but get your rifle out, mate! That's his demise. Yampy will take full advantage of it, and it's the B site that Koi are going for. Still, Team Liquid have vacated, looking to retake it together. Might not even allow them to plant, given that there's a rolling thunder in Yampy's hands.
I mean, they're waiting, they're biding their time just a bit more now, just knowing that there's no opportunity to get that down safely.
Wow.
Kiko's just got a sliver to work with, and that's all he needs.
Insane. And it's all down to Kiko and a gap through the smoke. That's a big misplay from Grabinho to smoke that off, leave that gap, and Kiko exploits it to perfection.
And Andalucia Flawless coming in here for Team Liquid. We saw two back-to-back there for Koi. They're doing it right back to him.
Your eyes on this youngster, man. Kiko shining time and time again. Look at that gap. There barely was a pixel visible for him. And then the smoke clears. And it's re-smoked, and it's even a bigger gap. You can't have those mistakes.
I mean, all he knows is that he just has to hold that spike, right? Just deny that. Now, okay. TP'd across, deeper in towards elbow here for Mystic.
Oh, Mystic fancies a fight, takes it head on, and comes out on top. Why not?
Don't stick around for too long, though. They've got two.
Yeah, just want to hold hands in the situation, want to do it all together. You don't want to consider that Mystic is doing it by himself, but that leaves Enzo out to the open. Mystic wants to take vengeance, wants to take revenge, but it's still a 3 versus 3, and Koi have a decision to make. Do they go to the A site? No. They've got someone, the likes of Shados, pushing B, putting pressure, but they've still got a minute to work with, so this round is malleable.
All the defenders on Team Liquid so split up, though. I like the fact that Yampy has so much information with the forward angle towards this A site. The spike's still leaning there. And if he does get caught out, this cross is tricky, but he does have the fault line to work with. Could even rolling thunder if necessary, if he gets swarmed to buy time for the rest of the team. Which
is why I think Yampy's choosing to back off here. There's no reason to take, you know, a risk, given that he's got such a high-flying ultimate.
30 seconds
all the way
left.
across the wrong side of the map. Nats has got a lot of space, but he's gotten the information as well that Team Liquid can hold off this A site. Now, having garage control is massive, but the Neural Theft has shown his position. He's going to have to close up the gap here, up against his own cage, and he pushes even further. A very aggressive play by Stark, so shuts down Kiko, and that it doesn't allow Yampy to cross over. He has to go through mid. Yampy rolling thunder. Shados has to die here. 4 seconds. Nats to interrupt it. It's again Team Liquid winning off the interruption of the spike plant. And Stark, so yes, you're alive for a little longer, the final man standing, but that means to naught if you're not able to get that spike down on time.
Time seemingly being the worst enemy of Koi in these situations, just not biding themselves enough to comfortably actually work towards a site a couple of rounds now. Team Liquid, they force a timeout out of Koi this time around. And you're looking over towards these cams. A little bit of that frustration. You can see it in the coach's booth.
And I don't blame them for pulling a timeout again. Like, they had to draw this out for them because you can't have rounds like this where it's not the first time, it's the second time where they draw it way too late. Now, I did like the idea of Koi pushing through spawn there. Starkso interrupting Kiko. He forced Yampi to go through market as well. There's a lot in play there. They were smart to block off the interruptions, but that did come to effect when they didn't have enough players to take over the site. So having to split their forces there, too difficult for them. And now they need to find what their priorities are. What are their win conditions? Because let's be fair, 6-4 is not a bad score for them. They're not too far behind, but with how many rounds that they had going their way, how many rounds that they should be winning, it's them, it's Koi that actually should be on 6-4.
It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. I mean,
It is.
again, especially with the fact that it is one of those rematch situations, when you're the losing team, you're expected the ones to be able to bounce back.
But it's high fives, reset mindset. Let's see if Barbar's words are put into effect for Koi here as we enter round 11. And Team Liquid with control over this defense on Sunset.
Showstopper available here for Kiko.
And it's going to be used straight out of the bat.
Hey, they're changing the pace up, you know, going for that faster hit.
But no one is nearby. So he throws down a showstopper. It doesn't quite break a trip either. Nats finds a shot onto Shadow as he gets affected by a trip. So
There's
that
one
causes
more.
troubles to Koi. How does he even push forwards from this? One of the trips is broken, so Koi allowed onto site. Nats is thinking of it. He's got
Spike
reinforcements as well. Nightfall. It's really strong from Starkso, but he's paranoid, so he can't really take advantage of it. All they're doing is delaying right now. Koi don't have the numbers. They need a pick from this, and I think Shados has got to be the player to interrupt this from happening. Kiko leads the charge. Nats has to drop back. Koi buying so much time. So the top clock is working in favor of Koi, but the kills aren't. Shados now looking to stop it all from happening. Starkso in the smoke. Heroic work from him. But it's still an equilibrium. 2 versus 2. And Shados spraying towards the spike. Not on it anymore, but they don't have the info. Mystic, Supremacy, triple kill. Team Liquid look to grab a 7th round before the half ends.
Miscommunication to go for such an aggressive swing after you see Starkso spot nobody on that spike, no danger, not even halved in that regard. And with a tricky smoke like that, not even the ability to get those trades down. Team Liquid guaranteed a lead going into the second half. Now, whoa. Look at, okay, I know we're seeing the hype replays right now, but I cannot wait until the teams come back up on screen for you guys. See what the weapon situation is here, because, okay, no, never mind. Yeah, no, they are doing it. They are running the double off.
What? Look, we've seen Kiko on it. He's been insane. But Mystic's got to show us what he's got. But it's Nats that might be in contention first with a Phantom up close and personal with his camo to win out the fight. Kiko close with it as well. Has to back out with the assistance with the blast pack. Fault line does barely avoid him. And he's able to save his life and fight for this retake.
Okay, but retake with double off. Difficult looks here.
That's massive. Kiko closing up the gap. He had the right idea, but the execution wasn't quite there. So we're still at a standstill state with 3 versus 3 and Koi playing an aggressive placement onto this B site.
Surely they just saved this, though, no?
No, they're not.
Oh, wait, no,
They're
it's 7 to
feeling it.
5.
And with the From the Shadows available, this is Mystic trying to find information to help his team to move in. He doesn't stick it because he has been shot down. Enzo finds the first pick, 2 more to go, and Team Liquid might be able to perform a retake here. Paranoia used, doesn't pick a single player. Starkso and Shados play this together. 2 former world champions with 2 different teams who look to work together in tandem to make this all work from them. Mystic, though, is the all-well denier. He's got the defuse in, but I'm not quite sure if he's got the time. It's a close one, and it's Koi to come out on top.
What a way to end that there, right down to the wire. And quick maths, I had me lost in the sauce. I was just like, okay, they've got 2 operators. Didn't even realize it was the 12th round of the first half. And that's a risky gamble to buy 2 ops into that last round when you know those retakes are what you've been mainly looking towards.
And that was a point-blank play with the operator. You can't do those that easy.
No, it's insane. I mean, that's so difficult.
Look,
like
the reactions from Koi here, like they thought the round was over for them, but they ended up winning it because they fused didn't come underway. So there was a big wave of emotions back and forth on the coaching staff of Koi. And I assume for everybody watching as well, that could have gone anywhere, in any direction. But for Team Liquid now, as they move into the attack, Koi onto defense, it's a different situation where Team Liquid can control the pace of this game, and Koi have to prevent it.
Koi. They've been so good on pistol rounds as well. Exactly what they need to even the score early on. Team Liquid already flooded onto this B site.
That paranoia is actually strong. Enzo's killed off and no longer able to put that spike into the ground. And with the smoke deteriorating, that's when Shadows and Starkster can start raining bullets upon them. It's clean! Not only is it clean, it is flawless. And Andalathea flawless to give themselves the first pistol of this half. And it's definitely the right direction for them, one round away from Team Liquid.
What do you do on the side of Team Liquid at this point? I mean, neck and neck, looking towards Sunset. This is the Koi pick. So to be able to try and equalize this early on, good looks into the second half. But overall, I mean, we are seeing a different version of both these teams, I think.
We are.
Like, the pacing is very different.
Yes.
The tempo there, a big change from the original matchup that we saw between these two teams.
100%. Koi, a lot more snappy, a lot more fast pace, a lot proactively thinking, a lot more proactively thinking. I guess we saw that more on the attack than we are going to see it on defense, but it could be signs of them to follow. But still, this is Team Liquid taking some fights here, and Koi aren't going to shy away from them for a second. It's a camo highlight reel as he pads up his stats. And Yampi forced to drop back due to the immense amount of pain. Camo, it's going to be a full-on ace for the man, as Koi find themselves at an equal state with Team Liquid.
Gotta love the eco ace coming in here for Koi. Great for the momentum and great to cycle into that showstopper too. Now just 2 away here for Camo, and they have been playing for those extremities. So Team Liquid, if they don't look to contest this A orb, you could likely see Camo looking to abuse that. Try and cycle this ultimate up into the anti-eco round of Team Liquid.
Yeah, Camo has been one of those players least talked about, I think. From everyone looking at Koi. He's definitely been a strong prospect. And, I mean, now, definitely able to show it. Obviously, that was against pistols, but if he continues to find power like this against some of the biggest prodigies to have graced VCT EMEA this year, like Kiko, it's quite the task.
What do we gotta work with here?
We've got Nats on Garage.
That is a dodgy position.
It is.
Back it off at the very least. The Camo, still keeping elbow control here.
You can really tell he's tempted to go for a peek there.
Got the information with the Roomba at the very least, that boom bot coming through.
That's true. So Shadow makes the call. Drop half, mate. Don't go too far forwards. And they drop back even further into the site. That Pinchill's actually immaculate with the C's, but it's not quite in their direction. They have plenty of room to spare. But Starkster closing up the distance. He's got his thing, and that does well in close proximity. But at the same time, Team Liquid are moving away from it.
I mean, that elbow play was just about buying control and time on Koi.
Shadow now turns his attention towards it. It might be the right moment for them to swing, but Nats now moving in the direction of the smoke as Team Liquid push onto the site. Paranoia stopping them from pushing 20 seconds, and it's actually this time Team Liquid's turn to be in time travel. But Nats on the lurk will be all too dangerous. Spike on site, and Shadow looks to stop them from getting in. Kiko and Enzo, as well as the rest of Team Liquid players, look to collect them one by one. And that was the flawless once again, and it's Team Liquid with the lead.
And Koi had such interesting positioning there. The clock ran down so low. And lots of opportunity. It should have been tight, but the coordination to come out from Team Liquid winning out those gunfights changed everything. Now, looking into this next round here. Pavlos.
Yes.
Again, we've seen the change of pace. I feel like we haven't seen that much mid-focus here coming out from Team Liquid in the beginning rounds, but now we're looking for a little bit more of that diligence to try and put that pressure down, see the dark cover going out, and even just the presence of the Haunt alone to try and find some of that space or put some of that pressure here on towards Koi.
Definitely keeps them on their feet.
The thing is, you have a cam watching through, so you have all the information you need as far as how deep they've actually pushed past.
Yeah, unless you smoke that, you can't really give the illusion to Koi that you have crossed. But they know it. Again, slow-paced as ever. Spread out.
And Cam was always consistently so far up towards A main, watching the long angle. Alongside the one way, of course, to assist with some of that delay. But it's a lot of information, a lot of early map control on the right side of the map here for Koi.
Camo looks to back out of there. A lot of pressure put in his direction, but no reactions from Koi. They're actually sticking into place. 45 seconds in, this is where Kiko looks to push forwards. He has been able to sidestep Mystic there to introduce some chaos into the mix. Grabinho not able to find a second kill, and Mystic is coming alive. He's been criticized, he's been scrutinized, but he's here to stay, and he's back on the server with a lot more kills.
2v4 situation here.
And Shadow's looking to lead the charge into this one, and he's able to open it up. Yampy no more. And Shadow looks to find more Nats. He's incredible on the Cypher, and even more so on the Guardian. And with the flank in the making, with the likes of Mystic, this is making this all too difficult for Shados. And I don't want to be in his shoes at all. Nobody does. And with the dire economical state that Koi is in right now, he has to draw back, he has to save, maybe find a kill as consolidation, maybe not that even. It's Mystic with the final kill, and Team Liquid keep on winning on this attack.
Not even a hero rifle to get carried over here for Koi. Team Liquid looking clinical, much cleaner than we had seen them before. I think the last two matches, Team Liquid, they did have pop-off moments from individual players. Of course, we are still seeing those pop-off moments right now. 14-8 there for Mystic. You know, smiles on the side of Team Liquid, celebration, and a little bit of stress there on the side of Koi, but...
I'm not great at lip reading, but that wasn't Sunshine Rainbows out of the mouth of Baba.
Get him.
But still, Team Liquid, major time ahead, right? With this victory, they just increase their lead even further. They're expected to.
Yeah, I guarantee the double digits at the very least are on the side of Team Liquid, but growing that gap as far as the scoreboard goes. Koi looking to play these numbers. The gamble stack over towards this A site, the crossfire as well, that trap play, but Team Liquid, they're not knocking on that door.
And that smoke gives more room to Team Liquid than anybody else would have thought. You know, with that smoke, you kind of allude to the idea that they'll be playing in aggressively. So Starkzo's going to have to hold it back in case he hears any commotion in this direction. Paranoia shot down instantly. So it's still an illusion as to how far deep they are in mid. And instead, they take up a B space, in which they'll gladly take to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Shados was close enough.
Yeah.
To get that read, got the call back over here, but Koi, they have to play together. They do have a showstopper in the hands of Camo.
That smoke single-handedly making Koi so scared of a mid-crunch. Everybody's looking here. Well, 3 out of 4.
I mean, so consistently, there has been a late wrap.
It is. And Mystic gets caught. Camo's got a showstopper. What are the chances here? 1 out of 10.
I don't think they're going for it. You can tell from this call alone that...
Yeah, they're dropping back.
They're just looking to isolate right now. Just keep Team Liquid stuck. Try to whittle down some of that economy. Get those picks with the exit out towards B main.
And with that, the spike explodes, and we're back in it. Yampy doesn't lose his life, so that's 1 rifle less on the side of Team Liquid, but no more all points to go to the Blue Stallions. But this time around, we've got a buy round, and I think this is where things get a little bit dicey. Koi, they drop this, they'll be in trouble, in economical trouble, and they really cannot afford that to happen. Otherwise, Team Liquid might be closing out their own map pick a little bit too quickly.
No, Grabinho also the one to be on this operator. I think the Omen operator is something that can definitely be creative. You can reposition there with the Shrouded Step, not nearly as quickly as a Raze or a Jet or a Chamber. But then the other fear is, okay, you have to get those timings with cycling the smokes for your team as well, where you're then left unscoped. You can't keep watching that angle.
And Team Liquid, yet again, with this mid control, keep Koi split to 2 sides.
Slow looks, changing the pacing here.
When Kiko is looking on a lurk, you can never be comfortable given that Nats could be on any given angle. I mean, sorry, Camo is on the lurk. You can never expect, well, you can never deal or be comfortable to deal with Nats. Still, it is a right-hand side they're looking to go into, and there's a fault line there to help keeping Starkzo in one area. Showstopper was enabled, but it's by Camo instead. A little bit over-aggressive, but it clears out Garage. and gives the call to his team to head to this A site quickly to defend because there's only 40 seconds remaining and Team Liquid might be in trouble if they're not quick enough.
I mean, going for this short push.
But Koi put their forces together. They're putting themselves into all in one corner. Kiko is able to deal with one as he quickly finds himself on the side. But Koi is the team that wins most of these trades. But there's 2 players on the other side of the map, and Shados has got to play the patience game.
Split up now. Mystic's just going to have to take that TP and get out.
They don't
What
know
is this?
where that was. It's
No.
trying to keep the Koi players over to this B site, but they might have made the wrong call because they're out into the open for Camo to collect, and Koi are finally back in contention.
Not enough information for that, especially when you know that the cavalry should have arrived over towards A. Maybe assuming that Nats did enough to distract over towards B to keep some of those rotations from coming over.
I think the cam there from Team Liquid was from Team Liquid, yeah, was crucial over on that B site. Knowing that there's no one TP'd in that direction, they were comfortable to keep 3 players on the A site defense.
No matter what, though, in those situations, you do decide to stick together as 3 when you have those numbers. But a good shout regardless. Protocoling this Prowler out. Start of information, though, with the tuck.
That fault line is so scary time and time again, but it's Grabinho that ends up picking off Kiko as it's anticipated from the Koi side.
I mean, hook, line, and sinker, right? I feel like something that Koi have done so well is kind of just bait into some of that operator.
Yampe's going on a rampage right now, and he might be able to keep it going. Shados puts him to the dirt, so enough bunny business from him as Team Liquid look to move into this B site. Yes, there's Shados nearby, but he's going to have to wait and fall back with his team because Grubinho is miles away.
At the very least, that neural theft does give a little bit of that security, a bit of that information.
Team Liquid are going to aggress even further. They're in within the smoke, and Shados going to have to deal with this. He's expecting it, but Nats is quicker to the trigger. Starkso trying to find back the space. Shadow trying to spray into that smoke, but no one from Koi is finding a pick. But Grabinho is now on the fight. On the lurk. Operator's shot chimed, but it's Shadow with the pick. Starkso knows where Nats is, gives the call, but it's Enzo there to assist. Oh, Starkso is there to help. Nats is low, but he's surrounded. The map closes in on him. And that's Koi on the defuse, right back into winning ways.
Clean swings coming out from Koi to get the trades and find the retake here to take us 1 away from tying things up into this second half. Team Liquid, I mean, again, good looks. They've been good at finding the space on the attack, being able to secure that plant. Koi's diligence has been really good as far as the coordination, the spacing there when they move in together.
Yeah, and I think Koi have been really good at reading how Liquid like to play it, what their early crunches are going to be. A lot of nice anticipated set plays that they had the perfect counters to, and this round was a perfect example, not allowing Kiko to move in, interrupting, finding early numbers. And again, we're looking at an A-site push, a slightly different variation, a bit of a rouge, as the mid push is what follows.
I mean, right now, I think even Yampi just showing this presence over towards A, he's the one with the Rolling Thunder, right? Trying to...
Oh, Mystic takes the fight against an op. And the Omen diff shows up. Shadow able to barely get away, but he's being chased after. Team Liquid going directly to this A site. Enzo is alone. He needs to maintain his composure and group up with the team, because if he died there, it would have been terrible for them. Shadow still wants to go for in the fight, but Mystic has got that angle covered. Picks up the op for himself and says, this bad toy is mine to use, and I'll use it as much as I want. Shadow says, yeah, enough of that. But still, it's Team Liquid that have guaranteed themselves at least an 11th round here, as off the back of Mystic's openings.
And no money really to work with here on the side of Koi. I mean, they do have enough to buy into the next round, but it will rely on Camo keeping the full shield, keeping this weapon into the next to be able to toss one of those guns over towards Shados. So an 11th round here for Team Liquid. And okay, I know you're looking at this team and we're like, okay, the spacing's good, the timing is good, the weapon now denied here in the hands of Camo, so no ability to buy into Shados into the next round. But Mystic is having a game today.
He definitely is. I think he's heard the criticizing of his performances so far, hearing that, okay, the only player off of the Apex core, off of the old Fnatic core as well, it's Kiko, right? Well, not the old Fnatic core for Kiko, but Mystic himself and Enzo not quite able to find the same performances. And Mystic took that personally, and he's showing it in this performance so far. Timeout necessary. This next round lies on a knife's edge. Koi win it, they're able to close out the gap, only 1 round difference. Koi lose it, economical recession, Team Liquid on map point. On Koi's map pick, it's high focus time right now for this Koi side.
I mean, if they lose this round, this map is done and dusted,
Yes.
essentially. And you have to use what you have to work with. You're looking towards that Nightfall. You're looking towards that Rolling Thunder in the hands of Starkstone and Shadow. But then at the same time, Team Liquid, if they don't need the Showstopper, the Rolling Thunder to find that execution, they save that into the post plan. It's a perfect counter to deny that flood back on towards site that Koi would be looking for.
The hands warmed up and stretched. Minds cleared for what could be a very crucial round in this series. Operator on Yampi. Not. I mean, we've seen it on Kiko, we've seen it on Mystic, and I think Yampi's turn now. Team Liquid enter this attack on a very split approach. Lurk in the making for Nats, but Team Liquid look to take up this B space.
Not so patient. Always knowing that that Prowler is going to come out defaulted there by Stark. So, okay, here's where we kick it to high gear.
And it's a matter of not using all the ultimates at the same time. They know the B site is open. Yampi not needing to use a Rolling Thunder himself, but Nat's being called off. That was a big haymaker this round for Team Liquid that they won't have for later.
We might see Mystic try to wrap back around towards mid, though, a little bit later into the post plant.
But Koi take the time to regroup, recalibrate. Nightfall drops, and Kiko's position notified. Camo, he's got himself a nice position and a potential good crunch, but Kiko is in big trouble, and he'll get dismantled. Koi, they've got a lot of players now. They've got so much, but the Rolling Thunder will stand 2 players up, and because of the smoke, they won't feel too comfortable to push forwards. They're waiting for Mystic to come through, but Gravino reads it. Rolling Thunder wrapped back for a response. Yampi destroyed. Enzo remains, but not for long. Koi survive with all of their players and get the round, get the equalizer, and stay alive in this map.
And Andaluthia flawless on the side of Koi to take them to double digits. Absolutely what they needed with, again, that money situation. We needed to see them carry as much over into this round. And to top it all off, they get to recover that operator. Just the sweet cherry on top of the situation. You get the celebrations here, but you can also see, I feel like out of all the coaching duos, that is like the most like bro duo out there too.
We're biased casters now. Yeah, that's it. We're sold on Koi. For their coaching stuff, that is. But still, it's Koi winning that round is exactly what they needed. We talked about the stakes of it. And now they're back in contention. This is still anyone's game. So the coin flip round goes to Koi, and Team Liquid back into a difficult position.
Difference too is Kiko used that showstopper last round, and Cam was no cycled up to his.
Stark so ready and waiting for this mid crunch. Doesn't quite have quick reinforcement. Shados would be the next player to contest.
There.
But he doesn't have much cover. Re-smoked. Into the smoke they go. Gets 1 before it drops, but that's a lot of information. 3 players recovered, but they do drop back just a little.
Taking out Mystic is key here, though. The fact that they no longer have smokes to work with here on Team Liquid.
How much of a difference will it truly make?
I think it's a higher value trade.
And Yampi doesn't have flashes anymore. So dry peaks, unsmoked peaks. They're going to have to take this together, coordinated. Shadow, he's got everything to his disposal apart from his Rolling Thunder.
30 seconds left.
And there's a flank in the making, the likes of Yampi that nobody currently is reading. Camo no more, Yampi on the fly, and there's nothing Koi could have done about it. Grabinho, with the ghost in hand, gets true out of nowhere, and Kiko left in the hot seat. Has to run away, they chase right after him, but Grabinho continues with the ghost.
A 3K with the pistol here for Koi.
That's dirty.
It's absolutely insane, especially when you had the fact that Yampi was flanking around through mid, finds 2, and the fact that you're just able to shift the round completely.
We'll see that again. Okay, yes, he had the help of Shados behind him, sure. All right, he wasn't playing that fight alone. But the fact that it's Grabinho to do it with a pistol is just disrespectful.
Right after he throws the op out of his hand, too. I don't know
He's
if
like,
you
I
noticed
don't
that.
want this gun.
I mean, he was trying to swap out to the rifle
Sure.
to play a better 1v2, right?
But they knew that timing was of essence there, and waiting any second longer would stop their chances of picking off Kiko.
I like this timeout being called here from Team Liquid as well, though. They want to stall some of the momentum that was just built. The fact that you had a huge hero play coming out from Grabinho, one of the rookie players on the side of Koi that were looking to make waves here for this team as well. Showed up big in that last round.
And one of the highlight players that we've been looking throughout this entire tournament so far is Nats, and this time not doing so bright. Currently on 7 kills to 13, and this is a player that they've relied on, and something we've talked about in consideration, right? They need to have a couple of these players show up, and not only show up, but carry. And Team Liquid haven't quite had that in the entirety of this map so far.
Tough. Yeah. A lot of weight on the shoulders of Enzo as well. You know, his re-entry back into the VCT circuit.
Right, indeed.
Then he's also in that IGL slot this time around as well.
But Starkzo's living life right now. Team Liquid, mid-presence. Koi respect it, and it's back to a AAA double B stack.
Okay. Denying this one way.
It's the same stun, but this time it misses. And crucially enough, that means that Kiko is able to find the pick. Camo looking to go right after him. And with the showstopper, it picks up Nats as well. So topsy-turvy, it looked like Kiko had the opening for Team Liquid, but instead it's for Koi. But look at the flank. The Starks are going all the way around, and nobody's looking in that direction. That's a spray down. It could have been a second kill, but it isn't, as Gampi gets a pick on the other front. So Koi vacate. They know they've got the numbers. Now they've got to play the trading game.
And look how much pressure Koi were able to make now on this duo here in Enzo and Mystic. Shifting back over towards this A site. Starkzo ran all the way back towards B just in case.
It's Cameron Garage, making sure that no one is pushed up to spawn or mid. Instead, Team Liquid look to push towards the A site. Shader spots one, I think, on the mini-map. Shadow is all he has to do is wait and hide. He has to be cleared. And nobody's cleared him just
You heard a step?
Step 30 seconds, Shados peeks out. That's one pick. Looks to run away, but Mystic trades 30 seconds. Mystic has got to do it alone. Vandal upgraded, 25 seconds. Spike left behind, but there's also Starkzo in mid he has to care for.
He wants to wrap back around, but with 20 seconds on the clock, the spike down.
Shadow, I think, has revealed himself already, but Mystic is looking in his direction.
He doesn't have time for this.
They've been teammates before, but he has to read his teammates' game plan
10
soon.
seconds left.
And I don't think he has at all. 7 seconds to spare. Shadow just plays the patience game, and all he needs to do now is swing and put Mystic to sleep. Map point for Koi on their own map pick. Sunset is 1 round away from being theirs.
Team Liquid have been making them work for it, though. The fact that this opener was everything in the hands of Camo, not only to equalize, to find the numbers advantage and stall out that fast start that Team Liquid were looking for on the execution. One more round. Still able. we just heard.
Yeah.
He's behind.
Emil is like, he's behind you, but they can't hear you, mate. I'm sorry. And that's not how it works. You need a timeout for that, and you can't time out in mid-round. Team Liquid take up mid-space. We don't have to say how important this round is for them. And overtime, perhaps, Koi looking for revenge in this series, as they did lose the first head-to-head. But Team Liquid have got so much more expectations on them. They're reigning EMEA champs. Losing this map will definitely put pressure on them. It's not the series yet, I know. We can't get ahead of ourselves. But it's a good start, a good step in the right direction. Nightfall towards that A site. How many defenders does it bait in that area? How much more are they looking to push? Prowler sent towards them. Shados wanting to take a fight here into market, but Mystic wins the fight. Yes, a couple of players of the Team Liquid side are low, but they've been able to keep their lives intact.
Having to fall off now, but Camo cuts off the rotation.
He's been huge this game. Shados, gatekeeper of this B site, and he's got the cam knowing that no one has pushed thus far. Paranoid doesn't even matter. Shados switched to the cam, knows that Yampi is aggressed forwards. He's got full information over him because he's got the cam looking at him.
He's just
PM
toying.
at this point. He's big brother. And Yampy can't hide away. In the
30
smoke he
seconds
goes in his attempt to conceal his position, and now he's got teammates to work with. Enzo tries to confront, but he hasn't got
back
anyone to
around.
help him. Miscommunication perhaps, but Gravino now is in the fight, and he's got the flank. Spike down onto the ground. Yampy can't do a thing as he's blinded. Koi, 13 to 11. Close out map number 1.
Sunset their map pick here for